So this is Belisi Gillespie and Lenny Milner talking about participles, ancient Greek participles. And the first thing we want to do is talk about what a participle is. So the English word participle, P-A-R-T-I-C-I-P-L-E, comes from a Latin word, parti, P-A-R-T-I, and then the second half of it is kept, C-E-P-S, which means, the first part means share or part, and the kept means to take. So it means to take part in or to share in something. The Greek word for participle, the ancient Greek word for participle, is metache, mu, epsilon, tau, omicron, chi, eta with an acute accent. That's an epsilon with an
Eta. Oh, eta. I was like, okay.
That's good. That's good. We right. Make that an eta. Okay. And metache comes from the Greek verb metecho, which means to share. Okay. So what are these? What do these words have to? Grammatical terms have to do with sharing? Well, here's the basic definition of a participle. A participle is a, you can get a new one by, do you want to erase everything? Oh, we're going to lose it then? Alright, well, let's see what happens. It records it. Okay, a participle shares in two grammatical categories. And the two grammatical categories are adjective, it's an adjective, okay? Very clear that participles are fundamentally adjectives, but it's an adjective derived from a verb. Okay, so on the one hand, adjectives are in the categories of nouns, okay, and they have noun endings in Greek. On the other hand, it's derived from a verb. So in concrete terms, the fundamental thing about participles, as I said a moment ago, is that they are adjectives, but they have a lot of the features they're derived from, and they have grammatical features of verbs. For example, participles can have direct objects, okay, which adjectives that are plain adjectives cannot. And in Greek, there is a very large set, a complete set of participles in ancient Greek, and they're used all over the place, okay, and they have a very complex set of functions. It's an amazing thing. In English, we have a very restrained use of participles, not very many of them, and the other thing that's confusing about English is that they have the same forms as other words that are not participles, as verb forms and gerunds. So, for example, if I ask Belisi to give me an instance of a participle in English, what comes to mind is a word like
running.
Running, okay. So running, if you think about it, you can use it in three different ways. You can say the man is running, okay, or the dog is running, okay. And in that case, it's just a verb, okay? Is running is a form of the present of the verb. It's not a participle. You can say running is fun, and then it's a noun. In other words, it's a gerund. But the third use is the participial use, and an example of that is the running dogs of capitalism, okay? That there you can see that it's an adjective modifying dogs, and it's neither of the other two. It's neither a verb, a finite verb like is running, or a noun like running is fun. So that's the category that we're talking about. In English, the most common participles, we have present participles like running, we have past participles like written. Okay. Well, the book is well written. Okay, is an adjective of an adjective, adjectival use of of the form written, which can also be a verb. I have written something, okay, in the perfective form in English. So, or we also have things like the ed adjectives, okay, in English. Boiled and broiled are the examples that the book uses. So in Greek, so we have a present participle and a past participle, and participles in English can have voice. They can be active and passive. So you can have the book being written is by that person is long, okay, and being written is a participle, and that's a passive participle, or the book written by so and so, right? And there's the past form of it. But you can also say forms like running, which are present participles and are active. But that's about the size of it in English. But in Greek, we have participles have two basic categories. They have aspect, number one, okay. These are the verbal categories. Have aspect and voice, okay. And then they have all the endings, okay, of adjectives in Greek, okay. And those adjectives can be first, second, and third declension forms, depending on what particular aspect or voice you're looking at. So that's a kind of overview of what a participle is. Lucy, do you have anything you want to add to this? Just this overall picture?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Maybe as we continue.
All right, so why don't we stop there? That was 7 minutes.